man, as a Democrat who has been left homeless, who is now definitely in the center, but probably leaning increasingly right, I'm left yet again with an appreciation, despite the messenger, of the message of the Trump administration, because what those guys did was pretty incredible in hindsight. These Abraham Accords, the accords with Israel and the GCC, the almost accord between Israel and Saudi, to really be able to find a long-lasting peace is just a real example for the world. And those guys did a lot of really good work. And
it's a miracle, actually, when you look at it. What they did, despite the fact, listen, I'm no fan of Trump, and I am too homeless.
But this is where,
but if you want to objectively look at what they did, it was good work. It was great work.
You have to. And in fact, this is a moment where you have to start to re-underwrite, is your, not you, Jason, but I'm just saying collectively, is one's Trump derangement syndrome causing more damage than anything that Trump could have actually done? And I think the answer is yes, because it's now causing us to not see that good work and then embrace and extend it. So much of the work that happened in that administration turns out to have been right. And that's what's so frustrating for me. The work on the border wall. We didn't like the messenger, so we killed the message. Turned out it was right. Issuing long-term debt to refinance when rates were at zero. We didn't like the messenger, so we killed the message. A structural peace in the Middle East. We didn't like the messenger, so we killed the message. When are we going to stop shooting ourselves in the foot? And when are we going to actually see and take the time to look past who is saying things and actually listen to them word for word? I'll give you an example. I started to tweet 3 links a day over the past 3 days. And the only reason I did that was I thought things were so hyper contentious and hyper partisan that I just wanted to show a few sides, right? And one day I found a couple links, 2 of which, one was from Jonathan Greenblatt of the ADL, who I thought had a very powerful message. And one was from Mike Flynn. And his message was also actually pretty powerful if you just read it. And if you took the names off, all the content was so valuable, both points of view. But the minute it goes into the world, people immediately judge and they kill the message because of the messenger. And this is exactly a moment where you have an opportunity to just stop doing that because the stakes are so high. It's infuriating, actually, quite honestly. It's infuriating to see it.
We had this last week on the show when we were talking about reducing spending. Matt Gaetz is not the perfect messenger, but his message was the message we've been talking about, which is, hey, we have to control spending. So I can understand people not liking Matt Gaetz. There's a lot of things to not like about him. I can understand people not liking Trump. And
get over it.
Well, and then, it's bizarre that his son-in-law went to do all this work, but yet he did it and it had success.
That's another example.
It's weird if you send your son-in-law to do it, but I listened to the Lex Fridman podcast.
Okay, you know what? It's not weird, because at the end, if you listen to this podcast, the most important thing that is resoundingly obvious about Jared Kushner is that he is incredibly thoughtful and incredibly competent. And why did we have to spend years being fed all of these stupid lies? Because one can judge for oneself, but Jared Kushner is thoughtful, he's smart. And I thought to myself, I was fed all these lies for years about how this guy was moping around in the shadows and this and that, and it was all not true.
Well, no, when I say it's non-traditional, if you sent, any president's son-in-law, daughter-in-law, whatever, child to go to the Middle East, on its surface, this seems insane. But in fact, they did good work. And so it's not traditional. It's not what you would expect.
He's thoughtful and competent. That's what I thought after.
That's what I got out of it as well, is that he's thoughtful and competent.
Yeah, he brought some fresh ideas. Just so the audience is clear, what we're talking about is he just did an interview with Lex Fridman, and the first hour was on what's happening with Israel and Hamas.